So I just made a video that I posted on my personal YouTube channel, but I want to repurpose that update because I think it's relevant to us as investors. And I just wanted to preface it with this short video before I show you the full video. I've got a couple of graphics here, and this is just amazing, the two statistics that I want to show you. The first one shows the average sales price of homes in Metro Atlanta is now $500,000, and this is the high. Now, the historical high, we've peaked right now at $500,000 across the whole entire area. This is the average over the previous 12 months, a rolling 12-month average. So you can see by the graph how this has gone up pretty significantly. I'd say prices have gone up about, they've doubled actually in the last 10 years. 10 years ago, the average price was $250,000, and now it's $500,000. Now, conversely, the volume of home sales, look at this chart. It's just incredible how we have reached the lowest volume of home sales in 10 years, since 2015. And this is when the market was still recovering from the great housing crash. It really didn't get going until late 2015 and 2016, when the market started coming back into a normal type of housing market. So this is the lowest volume of transactions in 10 years, and you can see the significant drop from the high recently during the coronavirus years, how it has dropped off. And so this is about almost a 40% drop in the volume of transactions from the high recently 5 years ago to today. The last 3 years have just been, I've called them years of uncertainty, but I think now that it's been 3 years, I keep saying, this market is filled with uncertainty. A better way to describe the market is lethargic. Both buyers and sellers are just not motivated to really transact. Sellers don't want to sell, and I'm talking about the home, for the typical home buyer. For us as an investment company, we find properties that are in disrepair and are distressed, and there's always going to be an opportunity for us to do what we do, just because homes deteriorate and there's sellers need to sell, not to home buyers, but to investment companies like ours, so that we can put them into livable condition again. So that opportunity is always there. But for the typical home buyer, they're not motivated to buy unless they feel that they can get a really good deal on a property. And so that's where we come in. If we purchase properties at a deep enough discount, we can fix them up, resell them for a very fair price, to give the buyer the perception that this is a good deal. And it is in fact a good deal, because our homes, when they're renovated, are in like new condition, and they're definitely less money than a new home construction home would be of the same type of house. And moreover, the properties that we renovate are older properties and are on larger parcels of land. So a quarter acre, half acre, maybe more than a half acre. I'm talking about some of the older neighborhoods in the Metro Atlanta area, where the new subdivisions that are being bought for the same price point, you get a new home, but you're really on a very small parcel of land, sometimes a third of an acre or less, or a tenth of an acre, very small parcels, where the homes are very close to each other, a very small backyard and hardly any front yard. So there's no comparison from that perspective, and buyers really do see the value of a renovated home in like new condition. But anyway, enough of that. Here's the video that I want you to take a look at, where I explain a little bit more about what's going on in the Metro Atlanta housing market. So a lot of people ask me about the real estate market and what's going on. So I am in Metro Atlanta, so everything I'm going to say in this video is mostly specific to Metro Atlanta, although some things will be true in other locations as well. One of the biggest changes as we look at different markets around the United States is that we are back to where the market normally is, in that all real estate is local. So a few years ago, during the coronavirus years, every market, houses were appreciating pretty significantly, and that seemed to be true across the board. And there was a similar story of market conditions where buyers were out, prices were going up, and that was true in just about every metro area in the United States. In the last 3 years, that has not been true. It has gone back to what it normally is, in that every market is different from every other market. So when I talk about Metro Atlanta, it may be true in other metro areas, what I'm going to say, but not necessarily, because there are markets that are very different from the Atlanta area. So let's talk about pricing first, because that's what most people think about when they talk about the housing market. It's prices. So prices remain at the historically high level that prices shot up to 3, 4, 5 years ago during coronavirus, and they've remained high. But what has changed significantly is the volume of transactions, the volume of home sales has changed. So we're really at the lowest volume of home sales in the last 13 or 14 years in Metro Atlanta, but housing prices have remained high. They may have softened a little bit. It's kind of a micro statistic. Some areas of Metro Atlanta, housing prices are appreciating or staying very steady and appreciating slightly. Other neighborhoods have depreciated slightly, but they still remain historically high. Maybe a year or 2 or 3 ago, a house selling today would have sold for a little bit more, but it's not that drastic. So this is true around for most of Metro Atlanta. Not true 100%. The thing that is the hardest thing for sellers is that the buyers aren't out, and sellers, in many cases, have withdrawn their house from the market, or they've decreased the price in order to prompt a home sale. But there's not enough sellers that are actually doing that to demonstrate that housing values have dropped. Buyers are not coming out. So there's kind of equilibrium there. It really is I think buyers have a little bit of an edge, but they are not acting in great enough numbers to make much of an impact on the market. So right now, this is November 1st of 2025. In the last month or so, we've seen some home buying activity that is a little bit more than what has been in the last 3 years. But every year over year for the last 3 years, the volume of home sales has been down. So the biggest or the most precise way to describe this market is uncertainty. Nobody really knows what is going to happen. People, I think across the board, are uncertain about the economy, about what's going on in our country, maybe socially, and that affects people making financial decisions. People are staying put. People are being very cautious about making decisions, and a lot of people are just priced out of the market. Now, do I think housing prices are going to go down? And the short answer is no, I don't believe they will. And the main reason for that is inflation has caused the prices of everything to go up. And when inflation stabilizes and the rate of inflation goes down, pricing doesn't come down. So the solution to these elevated prices of everything that we've seen, including groceries, transportation, just the cost of living in general, everything has gone up. The solution to this is higher wages. So that's going to take some time. I'm not an economist. I don't know how all that's going to kick in over time and what the time frame might be. But I'll tell you, I don't think housing prices are going down, just like I don't think grocery prices are going down, or the price of, let's say, automobile parts, tires, and the cost of getting an oil change for your vehicle, things like that. I don't think any of these prices are coming down. Walk into any grocery store or any big box store, Home Depot, Lowe's, if you're shopping for building supplies or household items, those prices aren't coming down. I don't believe they are. So again, I'm not an economist. I'm not making a definite prediction, but I'm just using my common sense. For the last 5 years, people have told me the housing market's going to crash. The housing market's going to crash ever since it went up sharply in 2020, and pricing kept going up when a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's going to crash, going to crash." Well, it never has. In these past 5 years, I don't think the circumstances are in place for that to happen. Now, that doesn't mean we have a great economy or everything's stable. I'm just saying pricing isn't going to come down. And as mortgage rates decline, we're pretty close to the 6% average. It's about 6.13 is the average of the average mortgage rate in the United States right now. And so a buyer with good credit buying a house can get a mortgage for less than 6% in the mid to high fives. And so, that's kind of a decent interest rate. I don't believe we're going to come back to the days of 2.5% to 3.5% interest rates. I don't know if I'll see that in my lifetime. Maybe I will, but I don't believe that I will. But I think 4.5%, 5.5%, 6.5%, that range that we're currently in now, and slightly lower is going to be the norm in the next few years. And so maybe in 2026, the average mortgage rate might be actually below 6, maybe close to 5.5, maybe the low fives, something like that. So I think maybe it could drop another point in the next 12 months. But that's not a silver bullet. Dropping interest rates are not going to cause buyers to come out in great numbers because there's so many other economic factors that cause people to make decisions or price people out of the market. Anyway, what do you think? If you're in Metro Atlanta and you're experiencing something, leave a comment or seen something in your local housing market in your neighborhood. Leave a comment. If you're somewhere else in the United States, love to hear what's going on in your market. Feel free to post your questions. I'm always happy to answer any real estate related question.